it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, oh, still can't believe you love me. I hope it never ends. Let's being more than friends. Yeah. You know I'm here to stay every single day. Yeah. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, oh, still can't believe you love me. Falling into your arms, dancing up in the stars. Nowhere I'd rather be than with you. Oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, still can't believe you love me. Oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, still can't believe you love me.
Kidding. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Animal Lovers Cafe. I can't believe that all the animals love me and love you. And just welcome to the Animal Lovers Cafe. The animals are here. So excited because guess what? We have a special guest today. So come on inside the Animal Lovers Cafe. We're going to be talking about World Animal Reiki Day, about animals, about all kinds of fun things, sharing stories, swapping lies. Who knows what's going to happen? Well, we're going to be talking about World Animal Reiki Day is what we're going to be doing. And my name is Janet Dobbs. If you don't know me, please write new in the comments below because I would love to say hello to you. And if you don't know me, because you're new, my name is Janet Dobbs of Animal Paradise Communication and Healing, where my greatest joy is to help you discover your unique way of receiving communication from animals and also your unique way of healing with animals. So today I want to welcome our special guest, Kelly McDermott-Burns of Shelter Animal Reiki Association. And she's the East Coast director of SARA, Shelter Animal Reiki Association. And SARA is celebrating World Animal Reiki Day, which is on February 5th. And just really quick about Kelly. Kelly lives in Vermont with her kitties and her husband, and it's really cold up there, isn't it, Kelly? So welcome, Kelly. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Janet. It's no place I'd rather be than inside and having fun with you. Same time. So perfect.
I know. How good is this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just, thank you so much for being here. And of course, do you remember how long ago it was that we met?
Wow.
It's
That's a
been a
good
while.
question.
But it
Probably
has,
like 2009 or something.
it could at least. Yeah. Yeah.
Or no, before that. It was before that, I
I think
think.
so. I think so too. But it's been a while. And I guess we had a love of Reiki, but also what brought us together was our love of animals. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And using them together, or not using them together, but bringing them together. That was not what we want to say, but definitely bringing those two together to facilitate healing for not just the animals, but ourselves.
Yeah. 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 So we have just really want to say hello to, oh, what are you doing up there? Hi, Marcus. What are you doing up there?
Hi, Marcus.
We're just going to bring you right on down here. So, hi, Marcus. Thank you so much for being here. And this is Kelly and Kelly McDermott-Burns of Shelter Animal Reiki Association. And we are celebrating World Animal Reiki Day, among others. So, Kelly, we have such a great love of animals. Do you have a story about an animal that sticks out for you the most? Is there like an animal that really sticks out for you, or maybe whether, yeah.
Wow. There's so many that have taught me a lot. And I've worked with so many animals of all types over the years. And one that's been actually, I think, probably the most powerful one. And I spent some time in India at the Tree of Life for Animals. And I was just thinking about this yesterday because I've been communicating with them recently to try to work on some things. And when I went there, the Tree of Life for Animals is a sanctuary for animals in India, and it's also a hospital. So they have a vet on staff and everything. And sometimes the animals, the dogs population is quite large in the area. And sometimes when the animals come in for the hospital and they're recovering in the sanctuary, they can't always be reintroduced back into the to the streets, to their pack, the dogs in particular I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is that they've just maybe been there too long and the other dogs may not accept them, or they just have injuries that really prohibit them from running around in the streets, so they live out their lives in the sanctuary. And the very first day that I went there with my friend, we walked in and one of the dogs just came running up and had no back legs, and so dragging his little self right up to the gate, big old dog smile on his face and just happy as could be, and was not focused in any way on his disability.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was a real eye opener of how, especially the way we practice animal Reiki, is seeing the animals as perfect in every moment, right? They're, no matter what's happening with them, and not bringing additional pity and sadness to a situation that they're in, but just seeing them as perfectly whole and beautiful beings, right? Full of light, just like we are. And so when I saw this dog and I was watching the other dogs that were like that, they're just being dogs. They weren't, oh, I can't do this because I'm missing my legs. They're just like following the other dogs around, wrestling with the other dogs, doing all those things. And so I always think of that as, how how important it is for us to really focus on the light within, not only them, but ourselves, and to just see them as perfect beings in their, whatever's happening with them. Yeah. Not bringing that sadness to that situation. So sitting in a Reiki, in the Reiki space with them, it's important not to focus on any of that, because they feel that, right? They feel that energy. Why bring that back up?
Absolutely.
They went through their trauma and they're being who they are, and they're just in the present moment.
And there's such great teachers, right? And that's what we're talking about, is animals as teachers and healers. And what a great teacher, for you. You're reminding me a little bit of, there's a deer that comes to our yard. I call her Princess Mommy. She's a mother, an adult, but she was hit. I know she was hit by a car at least a year and a half ago. and she made it through last winter. She had 2 babies. She raised them over the summer, but I mean, like her pelvis is shattered, her front, her front leg, she limps on it with everything. And if you look at her, just like you were talking about, that outside package, that dog that you were talking about with no
Mhm.
legs, we go into this like, oh my God. But to get past that outer package and go into what's inside, like what's inside of all of us, I just, it's such a lesson to learn. So the animals teach us so much. So thank you very much for sharing about that beautiful dog. Do you
Yeah.
have other? I know you have a million animals.
I have a million of them. But the other one that's been coming up a lot because I've been talking to pretty soon going down to the Care Foundation in Florida, and they have a big crocodile named Ignosi. And Ignosi, I've heard actually several people recently talk about him and having a similar experience. He's a man eater. He's just a giant crocodile, and he's obviously in an enclosure. And I was down there taking a class with one of my friends, and we were doing the initiation, the spiritual blessing, or Reiju that we call it in Reiki. It's just a very peaceful meditation and coming together. And so my friend Jean was sitting in the chair, and I was preparing myself, doing my breathing and getting nice and grounded. And then Ignosi was right there at the fence and completely still, but I knew, I could just feel that he was watching every move. And that feeling of stillness that he emanated, just really, I could feel it vibrating within myself. And I think I've never felt that still in my life. And I, hopefully someday we'll feel it again. Well, maybe next, couple of weeks when I go back down there, I'll visit him. But yeah, that feeling of just stillness and being totally present was really, it was just really not overwhelming, but incredibly empowering.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how, what you said about this. At first you were talking about him and he's like this big monster killer, right? And so we all judge animals and each other by that outside package. And then what a profound experience you had with him, that it's like almost ancient wisdom that can come from the unexpected animals and beings if we just kind of are in that still space.
Mm-hmm.
That oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that with us. And so just to be clear, just to get a little clarity, I know about the Care Foundation, but what is that, and why? What is it that you go down there for, other than, of course, being with these amazing animals that are there?
Yeah, well, I used to. I've taken several classes down there, with Animal Reiki, the Let Animal Lead method. And the foundation is, they have all kinds of exotic animals. Mainly, a lot of them are, people think are a good idea for a pet at some time, and then others are, perhaps coming from a zoo or a wildlife park or something. And so they have tigers, and they have barn animals, all kinds of different animals, gigantic tortoises. I think they still have a bear, and all this, like the smaller animals like skunks and parrots and all kinds of birds and snakes. And so it's like a treasure chest for people who are doing Reiki with animals, because there's such a variety of animals there that we get so much experience. And so when I was vacationing in Florida during the winter, I'd usually hop up there for World Animal Reiki Day, just take a ride up and sit with the animals there. And so I'm looking forward to doing that again. And it's really funny because we often when we're going to a place like that, oftentimes everybody's like, oh, I just want to be with the tigers or the lions. And so the other animals that we don't necessarily see on a regular basis, or that we might be afraid of, like a crocodile, or snakes, for instance, that we have fear of, that we might not want to work with them, right? And they're all of these animals are all part of our a part of the universal energy, right, that we share. And so they all have a place in the ecosystem, and they all deserve they're sentient beings and they all deserve love and compassion. So I sometimes, I do try to seek out the animals that might not get the attention because everybody wants to sit with a tiger, or everybody wants to sit with a bear,
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Because there's always the ones that's like, well, hello, what about me?
Exactly. Who's
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here?
Yeah, so I just want to just say hi to Cheryl is here, and she said hi to both of us, and
Hi, Cheryl.
Marcus is here with us, and thank you guys
Hi,
for joining
Margaret.
us. And if you have any questions, please feel free to pop a question in the you know what to do, and just pop a question in the comments, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have about animals, about Reiki, about Reiki with shelter animals. Yeah. So Kelly, yeah, this is just, such an exciting time, especially for you and the work that you do with shelter animals, with Reiki. And yeah, so what's your latest thing that's happening?
So much is happening right
I
now.
know.
Lots of things going on, and it seems like the interest in working with animals is really peaking and or starting to pick up, at least with in this field, which is wonderful, especially in the shelter situations. So I've been talking to shelters, and I've been talking with them about teaching classes. I teach online, so it makes it really helpful for shelters who, for instance, can't get away from, they're so busy, right? They're always busy. It's really hard for them to put aside some time. So I teach classes, and so they have more flexibility because it's 8 weeks and it's once a week. So those are online. They're starting to do my in-person classes again, which is
Oh,
fun.
wonderful.
Teach up at
Yay.
the Little Red Barn Farm Sanctuary, which is a wonderful sanctuary in Vermont, and spend a lot of time there. I'm actually going up there on Sunday with a couple of my students to share World Animal Reiki Day, which is Sunday, with the sheep and the goats and the cows, and hopefully the weather will be warmer by then. It's supposed to be warmer, and the wind should be over, but yeah, I spend a lot of time up there, and love the peacefulness of the sheep, being with the sheep, and just sitting on the hill doing some Reiki.
Yeah, there's nothing better than being with animals out in nature together. So, and that you teach, that you teach other people how to do this. So, just, a lot of people might not even understand what Reiki is, but, or how they might be able to learn. So, yeah, I know I teach Reiki and you do too. So I just want to share with everybody about, your business is Heart Song Reiki. So if people wanted to learn more about you and about Reiki, look in the description. There's a link there. But Kelly, you want to just share anything? Like, what's a favorite thing? Like when you're teaching others Reiki and somebody's a beginner, is there something like something that you find to be a common thing that your students maybe they want to get out of? Why do your students come to you to learn Reiki? And also, what is their experience with the animals?
So a lot of times they have an animal at home that needs some attention, and they want to increase their connection to the animal, and maybe even help them, support them through whatever the animal's going through. And some people, I have a lot of students who are also doing other modalities like massage or communication, or they started out in human Reiki, and they have animals at home, and they just want to branch out into animal Reiki. So a lot of them come from that way, and so I like to encourage them to work in the shelter or volunteer in the shelter as another way of having a large variety of animals to practice with, and get a better understanding of how to be in the space with birds and cats and dogs and ferrets and whatever. We had a pig in our shelter one time, so you never know what you're going to get when you go in there. Yeah, so that's pretty much what they're looking for, and I think a lot of times when they do come, they don't often realize that our practice is very much meditation based.
Mhm.
And also not touching the animals. So I practice the Let Animals Lead method of Animal Reiki from Animal Reiki Source Academy, and that is very much hands off, allowing the animal to have full agency, coming to us if they want to be in the energy, and just following whatever they show us. If they look like they don't want to be touched, then we don't touch them. We can just sit in a room with them and meditate. So it's really about calming our own energy and creating a peaceful space within that they resonate with, so they feel more comfortable, about being close to us or sitting with us in that space. I mean, we all have situations where we've either seen or done something where, for instance, we walk in the house and we're really agitated or rushing or something, and the dog starts responding to that, or the cat goes and hides under the chair. Those things are pretty common, if we're not mindful of how we are around our animals. And so that, it also just shows us like how tuned in they are to our energy and how they often feed off of that, or reflect it back to us. So it's important for us to be in that calm and peaceful space with them. And that's what we teach. How do you do that? You do that with meditation, the Reiki precepts, working on ourselves, doing our own self-treatment.
Right. Yeah, it does make such a difference in, well, how, as a teacher, so first a student and then becoming a teacher, how has this helped you in your life, teaching and also practicing?
Yeah, so the practice is really, it's just made a huge difference in my life. I really feel more grounded. That trip to India, if I hadn't been grounded, I never would have been able to manage being in a situation like that, because it's so much different there. The way the shelters are, they don't have the kind of resources that we have here in the West. There isn't a Purell bottle at every doorway. It's like, and the animals are in what we might consider shocking condition, but they're well taken care of. And so, they don't, in that particular area, you are not allowed to euthanize animals. So they keep them comfortable. And so there's some hospice going on there too. So, if I'm not grounded, I can't manage any of that. I can't manage going in a shelter if I'm not grounded. And I in the beginning, it was a struggle, but, continuing my practice, I was able to start to, feel more comfortable and not go in feeling pity for all the animals that were dropped off or whatever. And just seeing them as the beautiful beings that they are.
Yeah. And Marcus says that he was in a zoo and he learned about the change from direct handling the elephants to no human contact. So that's kind of what we both teach and practice, that, by not touching the animal, letting them have the control over what they want. I'm sure I know you've had the same experiences. It's a different experience when we try to force them to do something, right? And then we change and go like, okay, what is it that you want and need? I'm going to just be here. What's your, maybe some of your fun experiences or lessons even that you've been taught and learned doing things that way?
Yeah. So, the animals, and that's the other thing about meditation, right? Having a practice like that is we're more present and mindful. And so when we're more present and mindful, we can see, what's happening with the animal and notice when they're uncomfortable, or, if they want to be in our lap, or if they want to be touched, or we're touching them and they don't want to be touched anymore. So we always let them start, the session in whatever way they like, and then they're free to choose what they want to do. So, I've had times when, we were talking a little bit before that we started about a horse, and the horse would just, first day was far away from me. Second day was a little closer. I could definitely tell she was checking me out, and I was actually inside the fence. And third day, same thing, kind of like looking at me a little bit. And the fourth day, she came running up at me. It scared me half to death. I thought, oh my gosh, what am I doing in this fence? And she stopped right in front of me. And then, I tried to, she got close enough where I thought it would be okay to reach out. And she said no, and she backed off. So I backed off. And, but I'll never forget that shock of like, wow, she's running at me. This could be dangerous. Another reason why we need to be present and mindful,
Right.
and also aware of, when we're with large animals, checking out, what their, or any animal really, what their safety, the safety issues might be.
Yeah, keeping each other safe. And there's some animals here. Like, tell me about this little kitty and what came up for you. This is a kitty that you had an experience with.
Yeah, so this little kitty, I was when I volunteer at my local shelter, Rutland County Humane Society here in Vermont, and some of the kitties are in the hallway, and this little one was, they just looked so interested in what I'm doing. I was just sitting there and meditating, and this is usually the cat look we get, where it's just very focused on us, and what's happening and what am I observing here. Cats are just the best for that, because oftentimes I'll be sitting in a cat room and on the floor, and I look up and everybody's staring at me. There'll be like 10 cats staring at me, and it's kind of creepy a little bit, but also really funny. And some will come over and some won't. But cats are very tuned into the energy. I love working with them because they're, with dogs, they're very much around, they're moving around in and out of the energy, but cats are still, like Ngozi was, right? They're just still and focused on what's happening while they're sort of assessing, what's this about? This little dog was so cute. I was sitting and doing meditation, and I sometimes have, I'll just sit in the whole back kennel there where dogs are coming in, and I looked up and this little guy was just watching me, like sort of peeking around the corner to see what I was up to. Because again, they're not really sometimes sure, obviously they may never have had Reiki, but they are often, kind of curious, but they don't want to get too close. And, so we always pay attention to their body language, that sort of thing. So,
Yeah, I always find it so, find so interesting going into especially a shelter or rescue, and they've never had an experience with somebody offering Reiki. And so we're in their space and we're just being quiet, and they're like, "What you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
Why are you here to walk me? Are you here to, make me do something?" And we're just like, no, I'm just here to offer if you want.
Yeah, you don't want anything
and they're
from
like,
me.
what?
Awesome.
So at first they're confused, and then like what you were talking about, if you get to come back again, they're like, oh, there's that human, that, and they're just going to hang out. Okay, and then it's like you described perfectly some of the things I've also experienced is, it's so amazing. They're like, oh, that's the human that was just going to be and be like us, like in that beautiful energy. And their responses is like, they go from being, especially I know you've had this happen, so share with me if you have, like a kennel like this or a shelter like this, there's lots of animals, especially the dogs are really noisy, rock, 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 and then you can just be in that space, that quiet space, just offering, and then they begin to settle, and all of a sudden it's like you can hear a pin drop in this huge place, and it's like, oh, this is the coolest stuff.
Yeah, it's like if you can get one of them, and they all start getting quiet. It's funny, and that happens a lot because there's two sides to that kennel, and so the dogs on the other side might be barking about somebody coming through to feed or walk, and then these guys on this side are also getting ramped up with that, and so sometimes I'll just quietly chant. We have some chanting we can do in Reiki. And so I'll just quietly chant. And it's really for me because I need to focus and stay centered. But they start to hear that. And so I think they kind of tune in, and then they're like, what is that? And the next thing you know, they start quieting down. But it was funny because I was in the kennel one time, and there were some staff members around the corner who didn't see me. And I had been there for about a half an hour, and everybody was quiet. And I heard one of them say to the other one, I don't know what she does, but it's always quiet. She makes everybody quiet when she's here. So, and you know what, when the animals are quiet and feeling stress-free, feeling less stressed, the staff is also benefiting from that. I mean, hearing dogs bark all day long and I wear earplugs, so, but hearing the barking all day long is really stressful, and they have compassion fatigue at this, the staff does. Right. And so being able to also, what SARA does, Shelter Animal Reiki Association, is also share that that beautiful energy and train the staff. If they want to be trained, they can be trained for free. So, we train volunteers all the time. So that way the staff and volunteers are bringing in that peaceful energy, and the animals are, responding to that too. So we're really a lot in alignment with the fear-free movement. And
Okay.
a lot of our members and teachers have taken all the training for that.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So speaking of SARA, Shelter Animal Reiki Association, and this is all about World Animal Reiki Day. Just sharing a little bit with everybody about World Animal Reiki Day, and then we're going to share something really kind of extra special with everybody here, and sharing with people how after our little surprise, sharing with people how what you can do for World Animal Reiki Day with your own animals, with yourself, and show horses taught you to slow down, calm down each
Absolutely.
time you're trying to hurry. Isn't that true? I mean, you went calmly and doing with them.
Right.
Everything was so
Yeah.
much better. I mean, absolutely.
And it just builds trust in your relationship. It's just
Sorry.
amazing.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah. So just so special.
So World Animal Reiki Day is a day that was put on the calendar. It's the birthday of Kathleen Prasad's dog, Dakota,
Dakota.
who is Kathleen's the president of SARA. And so the day is put aside for our members to, and anybody who wants to join in, just to honor the animals and, think about the animals in our lives and what they bring to us, and not just our own companion animals, but, the animals in the world, and just, again, like, all the animals are part of the ecosystem, and they have so much to do with, the health of the earth and the health of the planet. So just taking some time to honor them today, or actually be Sunday, on World Animal Reiki Day, is really important. And just also to remember that, they're sentient beings just like us, and we aren't, when we're taking control of them and taking advantage of them, it's just not a good world. So.
Yeah. So there's something really special that is part of World Animal Reiki Day, which is called the World Animal Reiki Day Prayer. So Kelly and I, Kelly's going to lead us. And if you guys are interested and want to follow along, there's a link in the description where you can actually see what the prayer is. It's really beautiful. It's something that you might enjoy reading yourself. So
I would say have tissues handy.
yes. So we're going to just share with you the World Animal Reiki Day prayer.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, you ready?
So the World Animal Reiki Day prayer by Kathleen Prasad. To all animals, domesticated and wild, you are in our hearts today. Those used merely for food production.
Those who find themselves hunted.
Those who lose their lives in the name of science and research.
Those dwelling in zoos and wildlife parks.
Those lucky to be safe in loving homes.
Those rescued and waiting for their forever family in shelters.
Those blessed to find respite in sanctuaries.
Those who are healthy.
Those who are facing physical, emotional, or spiritual challenges.
Those who are babies newly born on this earth.
Those in the prime of life.
And those winding down.
Those ready to cross the rainbow bridge.
May your body be comfortable, safe, and well. May your mind be happy, peaceful, and radiant like the sky. May your spirit be in harmony, balance, and unity with the universe. May you be respected, cherished, liberated, and free.
And to all humans on this earth, May you be embraced with well-being and harmony. May you walk the path of grace, gentleness, and compassion for all. May your minds awaken in gratitude for the healing gifts of the animals. May your hearts radiate with the light of kindness. May you be the voice for the voiceless, a lighthouse for the lost, and a helping hand for the ailing.
May all beings live in peace, harmony, love, and compassion that is Reiki. May sharing the practice of Reiki with each other help us to remember our perfect inner light and healing potential.
Let us hold these words for a moment in our hearts, and now send them out with blessings and love into the universe. Enjoy the day today, friends, and as you travel the road of healing, may the animals light your way.
Oh, thank you for that, Kelly.
Thank you, Janet.
I hope you all enjoyed this beautiful prayer, and you can find it in the description below.
Yeah, and you can check out our website, the shelteranimalreikiassociation.org. Just shelteranimalreikiassociation.org, no the. And we have all kinds of blogs, talks about different blogs about different animals our members have worked with. We have some resources and just all kinds of good stuff going on. You can check out our newsletter. We are a nonprofit, 501c3. And we have a big conference that's ending this weekend. So you can check out the information about that on the website.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kelly. This has been so wonderful. It's always special to be with you. It's always special to be with, talking about the animals, learning about the animals. And so
what are you going to do for World Animal Reiki Day, Janet?
What am I going to do? I'm definitely going to, and that's a good thing, I'm going to light a candle for all the animals that have been in my past and are in the present right now. I'm going to offer Reiki to, all the animals that are in my life, that all the wild animals that come.
You have a lot that come visit you.
You have a lot, yes. Yeah. So
have a farm.
Yeah. How about you, Kelly? So what are you up to?
I'll be going up to the farm, to the Little Red Barn Farm Sanctuary with some students, and going to the shelter, Rutland County Humane Society, and then I also will do meditation with the animals, and so there are other, there are all kinds of things you can do if you want to just drop off some cleaning products at your local shelter or some old towels. That's great. Light a candle, make a donation. Just sit with your own animals at home and take some quiet time. Just a few minutes. If you meditate, invite them in, ask them to join you if they want. So there's a lot of options to just, think about how we can honor the animals, not only in our life, but, the animals around the globe.
Yeah. And
we have them all on our shirt.
Yes, we do.
The elephants and the dolphins and the spiders and everything around, they're all on there.
Yeah. And they're all included. It doesn't matter who they are or what they are. They're always all included.
Everybody's included.
Even the ones that may scare us the most, they are so
creepy
special.
Crawlies. We have to include the creepy crawlies.
Absolutely. And Marcus, he loves the fruit flies, or it's the mayfly, I forget. But so yeah, we have to.
Flies, huh?
We have to remember, all beings, and all. And I just, you really, thank you so much, Kelly, for being here. And I know this is a busy time for you with World Animal Reiki Day. So thank you for taking a little time to be with us. Please check out.
We always have so much fun, Janet. So I wouldn't say no.
But please be sure to, check the description. The link to Kelly's Heart Song Reiki is her business, to Animal Reiki. the Shelter Animal Reiki Association, SARA for short, and celebrate World Animal Reiki Day with your animals. It's on Sunday, February 5th, but to me, it's every day.
All the time.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Just thank you everybody for joining us, and we just
Thanks, everyone.
take care. Happy World Animal Reiki Day.
Happy
Thanks,
World
Kelly.
Animal
Where are
Reiki
you?
Day.
Oh, thanks. See ya. Keep smiling and have fun with animals always.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Observe